Hey everyone, Cassie and I wanted to share just some things that are going on with us here in New Zealand and our family and the church that we're involved with. And we wanted just to kind of share about each of us individually and then some things to pray about. So first, personally, I finished school. I now have my bachelor's degree from IU, so hip hip hooray, don't have to think about that anymore. And I'm very excited about that because I was tired of thinking about school. Second is that I am now a certified international sports chaplain, which means that I can basically pastorally care for people in the sporting realm. Not the same as chaplaincy in the States, where you would think military chaplain or anything like that, but I basically just get to be a presence in a sporting facility if they're open to having someone like myself just come in and pastorally care, which is awesome. I also have got to preach a couple times in the last year, which has been phenomenal. Great opportunity to learn, and I'm very thankful for those opportunities that Mark has been developing me to do here at Night for Christ Community Church. Cassie's 33 weeks pregnant. We found out recently that the baby is growing well, and the baby does not have a cleft lip, at least that we know of. And the baby's about 5 pounds, which is awesome. So the baby's getting big, and we only have about 7.5 weeks left. She did have really low iron, which created a lot of problems with her being really tired and having issues breathing, but got that fixed with just iron pills and some vitamin C that she takes every day, and she's feeling a lot better, and we're looking forward to meeting the new baby. I think August 5th is around the time we're going to have the baby, and so we're really excited to meet that one. We don't know what it is yet, and we're not going to find out. We wanted it to be a surprise, so we're excited about that. Liam is halfway through his first year of school, and he's just growing really well, adapting really well to the social setting of school, and being able to read and write, and it's really awesome to see how he's processing through things. And it's hard to believe that he's 5 and going to be 6 in January, and he's just learning really well right now, and he's a good big brother, and he really is protective of Thalen and Clara, and he's excited about what he says is his baby sister coming, because he really likes having baby sisters. So yeah, he's doing really well. Thalen is almost 3. He'll be 3 right before the baby comes, and it's been really fun to see him grow. He's kind of a bull in a china shop, but he's funny. He's such a cheeky little boy, and but he's also very protective and very caring, and he loves to share with his brother and sister, which is just really neat to see how different his personality is to Liam and Clara, and it's just really interesting to see how they grow differently. Clara is now 5 months post palate repair, and her surgery went really well. They did a really good job. She's able to suck from a straw, which is awesome. She's able to eat most foods. She's kind of picky on some things, but she's basically eating anything we'll put in front of her, but she's doing really well. We have a physical therapist that comes and sees her and makes sure her movements are going well, because she's a little bit delayed from some of her surgeries, and she's seeing a lot of progress, and she thinks that she's doing quite well. And we also have a speech and language therapist that comes and checks her eating, because she had some trouble eating in the beginning, just because of all the surgeries and the hole in her mouth, and she sees a lot of progress in Clara's eating as well. One thing we don't have that we really, really want for Clara is a speech and language therapist for her actual speech. And the way it works here in New Zealand is that they assess children at 2 years old who have speech issues. So cleft babies or just speech issues in general get assessed at 2 years old. But there's a 1.5 year waiting list after that. So you get assessed at 2, but then you're put on the waiting list to be seen, and it takes about 1.5 years to get seen. So Clara would be about 3.5, almost 4, before she'd actually get to see a speech and language therapist to help her with her speech. Then when they turn 5, they're turned over to the school system. And the school system does the best they can, but the funding for speech and language therapy only services the bottom 1%. So the most needy get the services. And so we really feel like we need to have services for Clara before that, and so some of our decisions here lately have been revolved around getting her the best care we can, and we'll go into more of that in just a minute. So with all those things, with Clara especially, we decided that it would be more loving and beneficial for our little daughter for us to move back to the States and get her services that she really needs before she's 3.5, 4 years old to help her with her speech. And we decided that this process needs to start happening soon. And so I want to explain a little bit on where we're at and things that you can pray for. So we've talked about residency, about applying for residency in the past and being able to stay here longer and work under a different visa, and residency would give us a little bit more options. But we've decided that it's about a $7,000 to $8,000 process for us to apply. And we've seen multiple stories on the news here where people have applied and have been denied because of medical issues. And with Claire having a cleft lip and palate, she's going to need multiple surgeries. One around right before she goes to school. She'll need to have a hip graft from her a bone hip graft from her hip into her mouth to help her teeth set in. And with those things, knowing that they need to happen, most of the time they'll deny a residency application. So we don't want to spend $7,000 or $8,000 for them basically to say no. So what's the plan? Basically, after the baby comes, there's a process that you have to go through when you live overseas to get a birth certificate for your baby. So we first have to apply for a New Zealand birth certificate. Once we receive that, we have to go to Auckland to the U.S. Embassy and apply with them to get a birth certificate of abroad and a passport and a social security number. But you have to, schedule an appointment with them. Auckland's about 7 to 8 hour drive north of where we're at, or a 45-minute plane ride. But we have to get all of that done, as well as wait for that stuff to come in. And so our visas end in April 2017. And so we have time to get that done. Now, we're not sure exact dates of when we're going to come home, but it will be in between getting the passport and stuff in April 2017. So we're not sure the exact dates, but we would like to come home within those time frame. And it takes a little bit of a process, and it takes money, of course, like everything else. Here's 6 things that we're asking people to pray for or help with. Number 1. We need you to stick with us, supporting us financially and prayerfully during the rest of our time here in New Zealand. And if you are supporting us, thank you, and please continue with that and stay faithful to that. And if you're not supporting us, and this is the first time you've heard about us, and you're like, man, I'd like to help them for the rest of the time they're there, we'll have a contact page at the very end of this video where you can get in contact with us. We have people that support us $20 a month. We have some people that support us $5 a month. Anything will help, but we have seen a decline in some of our support recently, and we just we need to gain a few more supporters just to fill out the rest of our time here in New Zealand. Number 2, please pray for the transition back into the U.S. culture. Liam has lived here longer than he has lived in the United States, and our 3 other children have never seen the United States, and this is their home. And so transition's going to be hard. It's going to be hard not only for them, but for us and the church. And so if you could please pray for that transitional time, that would be very helpful. Number 3, pray that we can sell everything we have here, because we need to be able to buy things when we come home and set up our life when we come home. Now, we do have things in storage, which is very helpful, but we've grown as a family. We left with 1 child, and now we have 3 more, and so we're going to need to get some things. And we'll post an updated video closer to the time of when we're coming home and let you know if there's anything you could help with or anything that we need that if you wanted to help, you could help with. But please pray that we can sell everything here so we have some money to come back with to be able to buy stuff when we come back home. Number 4. Please pray for our church family here. We've lived with an intentional heart to build community, And with that means that people have come attached, and we have become attached to people here, and they're like our family. And it's hard saying goodbye. So please pray for their heart and for ours as we start the preparation to transition out. Number 5, please pray for someone to take over our roles. Right now, there's no one really showing interest in taking over our role, but it would be really helpful for our hearts and the transition if there was someone that could step in and take over, and we could start giving and the control over to, so they can start taking over. And there's just no one here yet for that. So please pray for someone to step into that role for us. Number 6, and finally, please pray for the continued growth of a gospel in our church here in New Zealand. It's a huge task, and the people that we leave behind can grow weary and are growing weary because it's hard. It's a hard ministry. And so we pray that this gospel-centered church here in Nai would flourish, and that people would step up and lead and love the word and love the gospel. And so we pray for that transition for the church as well, that they would just have the strength through Christ and the gospel to get through. So that's a lot of information, a lot of things to think about and pray for. And we know that this video you can watch multiple times, but we would like to talk to you as well. So if you feel like you want to contact us, so we have Skype, we have FaceTime, we can make phone calls, we have email, we have Facebook, anything you want, please contact us. Let us know that you're thinking about us. Let us know how we can pray for you. We really want to stay in touch with people as much as possible. And we know that through social media and through technology, we have been gifted with the abilities to do that. And so please contact us. Like I said in the beginning, there will be a page right after this last segment where you will see all of our contact information. And I'll put it in the description of the YouTube video as well, so you can contact us. We love you guys, and we're so thankful for all you've done the past 3.5 years that we've been here. And we pray that you continue to stick it out with us this last little bit and help us get through the end and help us get home before April. Thank you so much. God bless you.